rare presentation which occurred subsequently to COVID infection. And this thing has continued to vex the researchers all across the world, looking for the causes of this kind of sudden onset of hepatitis. This was first reported by us subsequent to the second wave of infections. So we all know that pediatric population has largely remained free of COVID-19 during the initial phase of the infection. But recently the role of this virus in causing severe hepatitis in children is being considered. During the massive second wave of the COVID-19 in April 2019, we saw that cases involving with severe illness in children were also seen. And some of the new variants, including the Delta variant, were largely responsible not only for the upsurge but also for the changing presentations in children. The recent cases of severe hepatitis which appeared have been seen across the countries, and with SARS-CoV-2 infections they have been identified in many of these cases, and India might have been most likely the starting point of this type of presentation. So the aims and objectives of our study were to describe the COVID-associated hepatitis cases, to estimate its incidence, to understand their clinical course, and to find out the temporal association with the SARS-CoV-2 infections, and to differentiate its characteristics with those of MIS-C, which was already a known entity, and other previously known types of hepatitis in children. So it is an ambidextrous study. We included all the patients below 14 years of age presenting with acute hepatitis, and all routine workup was performed for these cases. All the main parameters for viral etiology of hepatitis according to the WHO recommendations were performed, and a follow-up was also done for all these cases. That is why it is an ambidextrous study. The CAHC cases were classified as those with sudden onset of hepatitis, elevated transaminases, non-obstructive jaundice, lacking viral parameters for hepatitis A through E, besides lacking marked inflammatory responses, and without evidence of other known causes of acute hepatitis or previous underlying liver disease or multi-system involvement. This we also noticed another entity which was MIS-C, patients presenting with hepatitis. So we excluded that, and MIS-C were within the definition of the CAC. So there is a workflow of our study. We screened all the suspected patients for SARS-CoV-2, and whatever patients we got positive, all those patients were being monitored by the smart city control room, and all patients and all their contacts were even being monitored. And all those patients who developed any severe illness, they were hospitalized in our center. Our center was the only center which was dedicated to COVID. So among the patients, those without hepatitis were excluded, and all those children which came with hepatitis, they were included in the study. All the routine clinical investigations were done, and any other cause hepatitis were excluded from the study. Then all the routine parameters were done, and now we could classify them into two types. That is, one is the CAHC cases which did not have any other cause of this hepatitis, and these were 37 cases which had fever less than 100 degrees Fahrenheit and normal inflammatory markers, and without any multisystemic involvement. The ALT was usually more than 10 times the normal upper limits. CRP were equal to or below the normal limits, and IL-6 was also normal. Albumin was normal, and viral hepatitis markers were negative in all these patients. All these patients were given supportive treatment, and all of them responded to supportive treatment within the care ward, pediatric ward. So these are the results, and the patient characteristics have been shown. Usually the time of admission was approximately 5 days. If you see, the mean age was around 6 years. It was more in males, and the exposure to COVID was around 23 days, that you can see 3 to 4 weeks back, and all of these recovered. However, in the MIS-C, 3 children could not be saved. So this is the chart showing the ages of the screen population and the positive population. Then we have the MISC versus CAHC, and these are the blood parameters of all these children. And we see that few of the parameters are highly significant, so denoting that it is a separate entity from MISC. These are the X-ray findings, which is also quite different. So these had a typical hepatitis, having nausea, vomiting, loss of appetite, weakness and fever. And COVID relationship was established since 100% of these children were positive for COVID antibody. So here in the charts you can see the temporal relationship that they immediately follow the COVID wave after 3 to 4 weeks. And our study included data for admitted cases only. This might be just the tip of the iceberg and highlighting the importance of this study. And these are the unique cases. And CAHC cases, since they have unique findings, so this male predominance may also be due to the higher expression of ACE2 in the cholangiocytes of the male. And prima facie, they do not resemble that of the MISC findings. And coming to the conclusions, the emergence of new variants of concern, including the Delta, they have shown newer presentations. So our data also suggests that it might be a new syndrome, and such entities required early identification, thorough workup and differentiation from other such emerging syndromes. Thanks a lot. I'm open to questions.
Hello, it's a wonderful presentation. One question is, what could be the mechanism of this transient hepatitis?
Ma'am, actually we looked after various immunological parameters, but there was no time to include all those in this. We saw there is a polyclonal B activation subsequent to 3 to 4 weeks after this. And the trigger for this is not well known. Actually, all the scientists across the world are working for this. Some trivial virus, maybe adenovirus, adeno-associated virus. We found some cases with even varicella zoster virus. So some trivial virus acts as a trigger and it causes a polyclonal activation of B and T cells, which is thought to be responsible for this kind of severe hepatitis. But as of now, none of the theories have been well proven.
Thank you.
Which test you use for confirming hepatitis C?
We do both hepatitis, in this we did the hepatitis C antigen and antibody both.
You not use the PCR test for hepatitis C?
PCR was not used. For B and for C, for none of these, the
Only
PCR,
serological.
only serological. Thank you.